Wizard of Oz is a classic movie, and today we're seeing it in one of the most insane venues in the world. And we're going to tell you exactly what you need to know if you are going to come to the Sphere to see Wizard of Oz. If you're on the Strip and you're near the Venetian, this is going to be the easiest and cheapest way to get to the Sphere. So what you're going to want to do is go inside and you're going to look for Restaurant Row. Once you see the Chica and the Yardbird, you're going to want to swing a right, go through the restaurants. It's actually a really pleasant walk. You get to see what kind of restaurants that Venetian has available if you've not been through there before. And then you'll make it over to the Convention and Expo Center. And as you can see right up top, it tells you Wizard of Oz this way. So you have a nice indoor walkway, which makes it really nice, especially in the summertime, so you're not stuck walking outside when it's 120 degrees outside. You can also drive yourself to the Sphere. They do have parking. At the time we went, the parking was $30 per car, or you could take an Uber or a taxi to get there. They do have a designated drop-off and pickup spots, but just note that after the show, the Uber pickup line was a little bit busy, so just expect a little bit of a wait. Now, they also started offering Zook's Ride. This is the driverless robo-taxi. So if you're looking to try something a little bit different, you can do the Zook's Robotaxi. Also, if you're coming by, let's say, a taxi or ride share, or you drove yourself, or maybe even walked to the venue from the outside, you would enter from one of the exterior entrances. This is the plaza entrance. Unfortunately, there is no monorail stop at the Sphere, but if you do have a monorail pass, you can stop at Harrah's and then walk over to Venetian and take the walkway. After they scan your tickets and you go through security, you will come into this incredible lobby. But I want you to pay attention to the different colors and the displays around this area, because it's completely different after the show. So take note of that, because at the end we're going to show you what it looks like, and it's so much different. They open the doors 45 minutes before the start of the movie. They will start the movie right on time, and you're going to want to make sure that you get here as early as you can, because you're going to want to see everything that the lobby has to offer. And there are a lot of different photo opportunities. And remember, I said that it changes after the show, so you're not going to be able to just wait until after the movie to get this particular photo. There are a few areas set up with merch, so you can either get your merch before or after the movie. If you do have time before the movie, I might recommend you do that, because you're going to want a little bit of time to see everything after you get out of the movie. But they're also trying to usher people out of the venue pretty quickly, because they're getting set up for the next showtime. And as you can see here, the merch is pretty expensive. But I think it's pretty expected here at the Sphere and just in Las Vegas in general. But I'm not going to be paying $145 for a hoodie. A few things that I've noticed while walking around the venue is that people have their purses with them. So I didn't bring a purse today because they have a bag policy on their website. You can't have a bag that's over 6 inches by 6 inches by 2. And so I'm like, okay, well, my bag's a little too big for that. I don't want to deal with it. And they said they have no bag check, so you're kind of stuck. So anyway, I noticed that women are walking around with full-size purses, so they're not really enforcing that. But they do have lockers that are right outside the entrance, so I guess if you do have something that's a little too big or you just don't want to carry around, you can use the lockers. Another thing that I noticed is that they have a sensory room, which I imagine could be really important for some people, especially given this venue kind of touches all the senses here. So I'm really impressed by this venue. It is absolutely gorgeous walking around here. And I don't know if you've been here before, does it remind you a little of Space Mountain, like when you're waiting in line? It kind of gives me those vibes. You will find bars all over this place, down here on the lobby level, but then also upstairs in the different levels. And you can find food here down in the lobby. Now, to give you an idea, the alcoholic beverages for like a margarita or cocktail, $25. Beers are $18 or $19. A glass of wine is $20. Soda's $8. And if you're looking to get some food, you can get some chicken tenders for $16, hot dog for $9, popcorn $8, candies, chips, snacks are $6. It is time to head to our seats. We are in section 305. Our tickets cost $159. They started at $139 for our showtime, but went up to $299 for premium seating. So let's go on inside. This is what it looks like inside of the Sphere from a seating perspective. So for the Wizard of Oz, they don't actually sell that lower section at all. And in the 200, 300, and 400 sections, they only sell the middle areas. But the interesting thing is when you go online to look, if let's say I'm going on a random Wednesday at 11 a.m., see those middle sections, that's what they're selling. But if I look at 2 p.m. or maybe a different time, then it's going to have various sections that are available in addition to. So if you look here, now they've added some. Now the prices also will vary based on the day of the week you go and the show time. Everybody talks about how steep the stairs are here, the seats and everything, but you don't really know it until you're here, and it's a little freaky. They are very steep. I will say though that having the steep seating makes it a lot better for viewing, especially somebody who's as short as me. I didn't have to deal with somebody's head right in front of my face the entire time. Walking into the Sphere, you already know this isn't going to be a normal movie experience. This version of The Wizard of Oz isn't really a movie screening. It's more like part film, part immersive attraction. The show runs about 75 minutes, which is about 27 minutes shorter than the original version. And the moment that the show really starts is during the tornado scene. And that is when the wind starts picking up, your seats start vibrating, and the sound just surrounds you. You might have noticed that there are a lot of empty seats here, so they don't sell seats in all of the sections, and that's to really give you the best viewing experience. So you're not stretching your neck looking up, but you have the best view of the entire screen, which stretches across. It was really kind of cool seeing some of the features when you look off to the side, something that you might not catch normally. And as you can imagine, the sound in here was incredible, but they also re-recorded the entire soundtrack. And once you arrive in Oz, this is where the Sphere really flexes. The expanded landscapes, giant visuals, and the immersive effects make scenes like the Yellow Brick Road and the Emerald City feel massive. So let's talk pros and cons, starting with the pros. So first, the visuals are incredible. The Sphere's giant screen creates moments where you generally forget that you're sitting in a movie theater. And second, the sound design is absolutely ridiculous, but in a good way. Just between the remastered soundtrack and the directional audio, everything just feels new. And third, the immersive effects actually add to the experience. The wind, the scents, the fog, the snow effects, the seat movement, most of it feels purposeful instead of feeling gimmicky. And finally, this is one of the few experiences in Vegas where almost everyone, families, movie fans, tourists, tech lovers, they can all enjoy it. And if you pick your seats wisely, like we somehow did, get an aisle seat next to an empty section, and that'll make sure that you can go and grab yourself an apple because they were falling into the section right next to us. Easy to get out of our seats. But now for the cons, and here's the biggest one. If you're a Wizard of Oz purist, this might bother you. A lot of the scenes have been expanded or AI enhanced, and sometimes you can absolutely tell. Some of the characters and backgrounds can look a little artificial or uncanny depending on the scene. Second, the shorter runtime. At 75 minutes, the pacing moves fast, and longtime fans may feel that they're missing parts of the original movie or just losing some breathing room. Third, the ticket prices. Now, the Sphere isn't cheap for any event, but depending on where you sit, this can be a really expensive movie night. And finally, and this is just a personal preference, but sometimes the effects can compete with the movie. There were moments where I was looking everywhere except for where the story wanted me to focus. Once the movie is ending, everybody's heading out of the theater, but you may want to just stay and get a great photo op here. And when you walk out of the theater, you're in for a treat because everything looks different than it did before showtime. The color scheme is different. Now it's all green, made to look like Emerald City, and they have a different decor that looks like Emerald City, like the balloon, the wizard's balloon. So there are additional photo opportunities that you can take advantage of after the show. And the wizard will come out and take pictures with mostly children, but if time allows, they will take pictures with adults. So he is behind the curtain, and then he does come out and comes over to this throne and will take pictures. Either before or after the show, be sure to go outside and get a picture with the legs with the ruby slippers of the Wicked Witch of the East that was killed by Dorothy's house. And back inside, over in the area between Venetian and Palazzo, there's a little cafe with some decorations, but there's also a great photo opportunity on the other side with some poppies and a nice display for you to get a photo. I personally think that seeing The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere is worth going to see at least one time. But if you've been to The Wizard of Oz, let us know in the comments. Was it worth the hype or overrated? And if you want more Las Vegas reviews, hotel tours, and experiences, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in Vegas.